All right, guys. So, welcome back to the Livewire Sports Media. This is your Saturday Vibe edition, and this edition the vibe could not be even greater than what it is. Because if you don't know, now you know the Indiana Fever steamrolled over the Chicago Sky in a game that, whew, in a game that we saw a lot of dramatics. We saw the incident between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark over a common foul that was upgraded to a flagrant foul. But nevertheless, the Indiana Fever never trailed in this game, only by 2 points by the Chicago Sky. In the first half, the first quarter was a little stagnant, not too stagnant, but just slow pacing. You could tell the Fever was trying to find their rhythm. Now, there was a lot of missed layups here and there, but as the game went on, you're seeing the Indiana Fever starting to take control of the game more and more. First, you're down 10, then you're down 13, then you go back and forth, then you go back and forth, and then all of a sudden, boom, you up to 30 something point game. Yeah, Angel Reese did have her double double, but she was a negative. I mean, a negative 20 for the game. She had five turnovers. Five turnovers, guys. So she only had one assist. She had 17 boards, 10 rebounds. I mean, 17 rebounds altogether, my bad, and 12 points. Me personally, I said this before that the Indiana Fever is going to continue to get better as games went on. We seen Caitlin Clark ditched her first triple double of the season. She has the let me see, make sure I got it right again. She has the most, well, not that, but this is her third triple double once to start the season. And she has the most blocks in a season opener by a point guard in WNBA history. Take that and note. Caitlin Clark, block shots. Caitlin Clark, don't play defense, but she has the most block shots in a home opener against the against Chicago Sky. She was making her hands active. She was definitely doing the things she did. She helped defense here and there. The Indiana Fever looked very dominant, even though they didn't even have Sophie Cunningham in the game. But they stayed true. And you notice the Indiana Fever turned up the defense in the second half because they want to make sure that they didn't give the Chicago Sky any momentum. Something that the Indiana Fever would do time and time again last year, would get big leads and then give it up. But this time, as you notice, Kayla Clark was able to go out the game and rest. And Sydney Colston came in, just kept the flow going in the game. She didn't have to do much. She just controlled the game. She even played some solid defense as well. This is about winning championships. This is not about just winning a playoff game or, have the best record in the business. This is how you develop great habits. Even Breonna Turner shocked me. She took a rebound, ran it all the way down court, passed it to Michaela Tipson and for an easy two. Michaela Tipson came in and get her 4 points off the bench. You didn't even have to need her that much. You didn't even need her because boom, you look at you look at you look at Breonna Turner's stats. I mean, she only played three. No, she only played 6 minutes in the game, but she had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. That's it, and one foul. 3 minutes, but she was effective. Sydney Colston, she didn't score no point. She only had 2 points, but she came in. She played 13 minutes. That is the kind of production that you need for your backup. Now I know we all have been whining and complaining about Sydney Colston, but this is what she does as a veteran. We don't need her to score points. Now, if she scores, that's a benefit for us. But we need her to come in and help CC take a breather. Now, when Sophie come back, most likely everything will change. But nonetheless, man, the Indiana Fever was completely dominant dominant in this game, dominant in this game. You know, you cannot make this up. You cannot unsee this. I mean, to a crowd that's 17,274 was on hand today, was on hand to see the Indiana Fever rock the Chicago Sky world. Now, that's the total attendance right here. That's the total attendance. Then you get DeWanna Bonner, third most points in WNBA history, moved past Tina Thompson. Now she's behind Tina Charles, who she's chasing right now. And that's gonna probably see who, you know, the winner, the it all the fact is if DeWanna Bonner wants to continue to play, because after Indiana Fever wins the title, I do believe they will bring her back. She will be a part of this Fever organization and try to repeat. And as the season goes on, she probably get more scoring opportunities to probably pass Tina Charles later in the year. I think that will be something that's going to happen. Then she'll be chasing Diane Taurasi, you know. So with that being said, congratulations to DeWanna Bonner. She deserved all the accolades. And you see how the crowd reacted to her. This is what it's about. That's that atmosphere in the Indiana Fever, you know. And then you have Caitlin Clark, you know, doing what she always does. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. I call that triple double watch before halftime, by halftime, because she only had 4 points, I mean, 4 rebounds at the time and 3 assists. And I knew in the second half, the Indiana Fever was going to find a better flow of the game because she could have easily had 20 assists in this game. She could have easily had probably 13 rebounds. When we talk about point guards, there is no point guard in the league better than Caitlin Clark. I do not care what the media says or what they talking about. It's this game right here shows you right then and there. Now you know Melissa Thomas plays tonight at 10 o'clock against Seattle. Now let's see what she does. We seen to Natasha Cloud had a decent game today, but we want to wonder if Caitlin Clark. And the thing about this, guys, look how the defense of the Indiana Fever was able to switch. They did never let a player from the Chicago Sky got an advantage or drive on them. They were switching. They was moving their feet. They picked up each other, man. They closed out on a 3-point line. They made it hard for Camila Cardoza and Aline Reese to do certain things. Angel Reese did hit a wide open three, but I wanted Stephanie White to really put pressure on Angel Reese to force her into more bad turnovers because even though she had 5, she should have had more because teams are going to try to trap the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese running point forward. And I think Stephanie White did a great job. And she took Camila Dosa out of the play. You know why? They made Camila Cardozo play out. They didn't allow Leah Boston to set up down low. They made Leah Boston play out more and then use her quickness, her shiftiness to get to the basket. Now, Aaliyah Boston did miss some easy baskets early on. But then her and Natasha Howard started putting the team on their back and kind of pushed it up. Kelsey Mitchell had a solid game. She had 15 points. But guess what? You didn't have you Caitlin Clark didn't heat up until the second half because she had 20. She was 4 from 8 from the field. And she was taking some shots that she normally hit, but it's all about getting rid of that rust. That rust was main thing for the Indiana Fever to do. I said it before early in the week. I would and y'all could quote me on it. I said was going to be a blowout. I said this was not going to be as close that people thought it was going to be. You know why? Because they do not have a team that can really score. You got everybody from the Indiana Fever could score on that team. And it's going to make it hard for teams to stop this team completely because they so focused on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark drove so much attention to where teams was literally confused who they need to pick up. There was one play in the game where Leah Boston could have did a give and go, but she took it and had Rebecca Allen committed too far over to Caitlin Clark. By the time she did that, she was trailing Leah Boston. Leah Boston went up for a layup. Natasha Howard was controlling the paint. We had 48 points in the paint. I and Natasha Howard was living in the paint. She was in the paint. DeWanna Bonner was there. She stretches the floor. Lexi Hall playing solid defense. She had 9 points off the bench, and she had 9 rebounds. She almost had a double double for herself. You look at it. Caitlin with a triple double. Aaliyah Boston with a double double. That's what you need from this team. And like I said before, Sophie Cunningham is not even back. But guess what? When she comes back, that's more spacing on the floor, more cutting to the rim. You're going to see more of this. This read and react offense slash motion offense is going to hurt a lot of teams. And you see it firsthand. This ain't going to be the first time that the Indiana Fever blows Chicago Sky out this season. It's going to get worse. Even if they had started Haley Van Lit in front of Van Loo, it wouldn't have mattered. Haley, and then you saw him soon as Haley Van Lith got matched up against Caitlin Clark. What happened? Caitlin Clark drove on her, went behind her back, left her standing there. And if Caitlin had finished that 3-point shot, it would have been embarrassing. She would have been a highlight meme in the game. Now, I will have another video discussing the flagrant foul, the incident between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. That's a whole separate video. But this video is just a post game, just to give y'all some clarity for what I seen. I see a team that's going to continue to get better. I'm going to see a team that's going to be a juggernaut, hard to handle, because teams are not going to know which player to take. And that's what makes them different from last year. We already knew last year it was Kelsey, it was Aaliyah, it was Mitchell. But this year, you don't have to worry about that because everybody could score, and you're not going to be able to take away everything from the Indiana Fever. And defensively, they might right now. This game, this is a defensive statement. The Chicago Sky has not have didn't broke 60. Now we seen them in the preseason looking all good against the Minnesota Lynx and all of this stuff. You see what the Minnesota Lynx just did to the Dallas Wings. You imagine the Dallas Wings playing this team right now? The Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings are gonna get blown out by the Indiana Fever. It's not gonna even be close. You think the Indiana Fever gonna allow Paige Beckers to set up and get that little mid-range jumper? Paige Beckers gonna probably have her worst games against the Indiana Fever. I'm just telling y'all something. This team is locked in. This team is serious. It's going to be. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. The league is on watch. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever just made a statement to the league today and said, "Hey, we here. 58 points. You hold a team under 60? If you hold a team under 70 points a game and you scoring 93, you winning all your games. They're gonna break 100. This team 93. They only 1 point over the Lynx today. I mean, not the Lynx, the Liberty today, who scored 92 and beat the Aces 92 to 70 something, 70 I think. But this is the most dominant performance because you dominate your arch rival, Angel Reese. You humiliate her on national stage. Caitlin Clark in the W now is 4-1 against Angel Reese, and I don't see it getting better. They have 4 more games to go. The next 4, guess what? The next 4 will be 8-1. Like I said, teams might as well get prepared because the Indiana Fever are coming. Again, defensively for this team, the switch, the help defense, Leo Boston had what, 2, 3 blocks? The help defense, Caitlin Clark got her hands active. Lexi Hall getting her hands active. DeWanna Bonner getting her hands active. That's what made Connecticut Sun for Stephanie White a hard team to beat because they was good defensively. Now they wasn't really great offensively, but they defense made up. But when you got a team that can play defense like the Indiana Fever, and you got a offense like the Indiana Fever, that's a juggernaut. And this team is only going to get better as the season goes on. We just seen the Washington Mystics hold Atlanta Dream to 70 points. And they scored 74. What you think was going to happen with this game? Now, they don't play again until Tuesday. They play the Dream on Tuesday. That's going to be a tougher challenge because you got Breonna Jones and you Brittany Griner on the floor. But one of them is not going. I mean, we still could beat the game. We still will win the game. You know what I'm saying? So, nonetheless, man, a great dominant performance. This game was never close. The Indiana Fever came out to a home crowd, and plus they had the Indiana Pacers in the crowd, you know, saluting them, showing love. So it's going to be one of the most historical runs we've ever seen in the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark is just getting started. And if the way you start the season off and you at the odds favorite to win MVP, this is how you do it. You come out, dominate a team, and you win and you put up MVP type numbers. And I was okay if she didn't even score 20. If she had scored 15 and still have a triple double, that still would have been good. Because then guess what? I said it before and I said it again. Caitlin Clark gonna have she could have a bunch of triple doubles this season. For real. She could have a bunch of triple doubles this season. And long as they win it, it's gonna be good. So let me know what you think about the game. I love the game from the second quarter on up because the first quarter was a little shaky a little bit. They was finding themselves. But now as the game went on, you saw them was really, really, really hitting a stride. And that's what I like. So like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for who all joined me on my live earlier today. This is where we're gonna be at, man. Livewire Sports Media. And all I can say is I might rewatch that game tonight. For real. I might rewatch it tonight. But nevertheless, stay locked and loaded. I got you covered. Saturday Vibe Edition, Livewire Sports Media. And if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment.